Okay, welcome back. This is video 5 in the Premiere how-to series on documentary editing, and we're getting much closer to finishing this doc. We've edited our interview chapters, we've laid in some B-roll, and we've also edited some transitions scenes here with these nap breaks. We've got 2 nap breaks. Now we're going to turn our attention to the intro of the film. And the intro should be really engaging. So first thing I think of when I think of that is music, is to really define the emotional context of the scene. So over in our project panel, we're going to go ahead and highlight our music bin and go ahead and bring in, let's import media, and let's find a sample of music that we like. Let's see. All right, so I bring in this music. Let's give it a listen. And so this fits pretty well. I've used this in other lessons. Just a nice bit of music there. So we're going to go ahead and work with this. Now, in order to do that, we're going to go ahead and bring in the music first. I always like to do that because then it gets fun, right? I love editing to music. It just kind of has a tempo and a rhythm. So we're going to zoom way in on the beginning here, and I'm going to go ahead and bring this, kind of decide where I want to bring it in, set my in point, and then go ahead and play it through. I'm going to bring it right about there. It doesn't really leave me too much of a fade out. And if I come here to the end, kind of too slow for an intro. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in my selected portion here. And to do that, we need to find that little icon that says drag audio only. I won't be able to drag it from the image. So drag audio only, and I'm going to go ahead and bring this in. And I've made space for it in my A3 track. So I'm going to place this totally underneath everything else. And then also what I'm going to do, actually, before I do that, I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to give myself even a little bit more room for this intro. There we go. Now I'm going to bring this in. There we go. Now, we do have to deal with this end here because it just kind of flows, and if this is going to flow from my intro into my title, and then from my title into my film, which is my intent here, the music ends kind of abruptly. Some things that we can do there. Let me zoom in a little bit. We could drag it a little further, put some keyframes on it, and kind of slow fade out. Even that's, I'm going to undo that. That's not really satisfying. I feel like I want this little end chord right at the end of this phrase. And I wonder what that would be like if I did that. So I wonder if I did a new endpoint there and a new out point there, and then I brought this in right at the tail end. Again, I need to make some more room here, so let me move this kind of stuff downstream a little bit more. Let's see how this plays out. Oh, that doesn't sound very good. So let me do some minor surgery on this and see if I can get it right. Getting closer. feel like what I might need to do is drop this down. I'm going to go up here and give myself sequence, add tracks, and I'm going to add 0 video tracks, but I'm going to add 1 audio track. I'm going to drag this down here, because I think I might need to just overlap these things just a little bit. Zoom way in. Hey, that sounds pretty good. Alright, we're going to go with that because that's as good as I can get it right now. But you see how you can be really creative with music. I needed just a short piece of music here. This song is way too long, so I was able to bring that in. And so now I've got some music bed on which to kind of cut in some really nice B-roll. And so that's what I'm going to do. And you know the drill when it comes to B-roll editing. So I'm just going to kind of work here quietly, maybe time-lapse this, give you a sense of what I would do. Okay, so now that I have the clips that I want to see in here, the next thing I'm going to do is go through here and just kind of adjust timing based to the music. Alright, so I see that this shot's just a little long here, and I want this shot to be at the end, so I need one more shot somewhere in here. So I'm going to go looking for one. Let's see if I can find one. Okay, I'm intentionally leaving this space blank because this is where my title is going to go. So if I have the opening of the film roughed in, let's go ahead and figure this out now. Now, I do want this closing of the film. If the opening of the film is sort of a preview of what we will see, I kind of like this being a recap of what we have seen. Now, the problem is this film is getting to be a little bit long for a promo piece, so I made a decision here not to have a separate outro. I'm going to use this last interview segment, especially this part here.
It's really exciting. It's not just, buying food and then giving it to people and that's it.
where she talks about
in this great localized cycle.
So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back up to my music track because I know I want the same music for both. And I'm going to go ahead and bring in a segment of music, including the end, and kind of bring this in underneath. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start this kind of way back here, and I'm not necessarily going to have music blaring during that entire thing, but I might kind of bring it up slowly and kind of bring it into her last soundbite here. And then I would finish with maybe a closing title or graphic. Okay, now we're going to turn our attention to this outro and to resolve this. We're going to try to end the film kind of timed where you see that music ending here. And what I've done is I went ahead and brought in a still image. This is a PNG of their logo, and I'm going to go ahead and just bring this in as a placeholder just here at the end, and I'm going to put it up here on the V2 track just to kind of show this here. And what we'll do is we'll resize this for the frame size because the image is rather large. There we go. So let's now go to see how this music should kind of come in most effectively. Let's go ahead and make some adjustments on a lot of this audio in here. It's pretty loud. Good. I kind of like this music running underneath this snap break here. It's different. I'm just going to kind of fade this up slowly, but I kind of like this level right now. I'm going to go ahead and bring this audio down because this is where we bring.
Distribution is really exciting. It's a really great feeling to see kind of, at least at my job, what I do on a day-to-day basis.
I'm going to go ahead and put a couple more keyframes on this music and kind of bring it down a little bit while she's talking.
Distribution is really exciting.
A little bit too far. Bring that up a bit.
It's a really great feeling to see kind of, at least at my job, what I do on a day-to-day basis, to see the kind of final product of what we've done at the farmers market and at the produce auction. To finally see that food go out is really exciting. It's not just, buying food and then giving it to people and that's it. It's identifying those assets and turning this into a cycle so that we're supporting farmers, we're supporting local churches, we're supporting local food pantries, other nonprofits, and it all comes together in this great localized cycle.
Great, love it. Actually worked out really great. I'm just going to put a couple more keyframes here and kind of bring this up. Awesome. So I really like how that outro works. I don't need a separate outro. I just put some music on here and kind of take advantage of the flow that I have already that seems to be taking me toward a natural end to the film. So that's great. We've got our intro and outros roughly assembled. And so that takes us to the conclusion of video 5 here. In video 6, we're going to be adding text and titles where we need to in the film and kind of doing last little refinement bits as we are nearing completion.